I hope that this bug from FM23 is fixed, because I've got a few transfers to show you, and I hate clicking backwards and forwards. So welcome to Season 2 of Build a Nation in Norway on Football Manager 2024, and thank you for joining me. Now, if you are enjoying this series, make sure you do go down into the comments and let me know. And make sure if you are new here, you do subscribe so you do not miss any content going forward, be it my Build a Nation or any other content on the channel. And if you are going to be a regular viewer and you feel like you are loving this series and this is better than watching television on a night, then you can go down and there are links to Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee. 2 different links, and both of them you can donate to the channel, be it a one-off payment on Buy Me a Coffee or monthly subscription on that website or Patreon. It does help the channel out, and it just tells my wife that me taking a day off work each week or each month to record content is justified, because I'm making enough income from it, as we are trying to save to buy a house as well, because there's going to be 5 of us soon living in a 2-bedroom apartment. It's going to be tight. I'm not playing the victim. I'm just letting you know things like the donations go towards improvement. Also, I'm looking at a very nice new camera for content creation. My thinking is, if I can get this camera, which was recommended by Tom FM, I can record the webcam separate, which means we can produce better quality content, which in turn means more people enjoy it, hopefully. But enough of me rambling. Let's get on to how pre-season's gone, signings we've made, etc, etc. And to start with that, we've got to go back in time. So at the end of Season 1, the board decided, even though we were in the red by 700k, to spend £500,000 on under-soil heating, so none of the games in Season 2 were affected by the snow, the ice, the bad weather. So going into the new financial year, we did avoid a tax bill due to us losing money. We did have new club membership came in. 75k we got from club membership, so that's a nice welcome income, 100% there. In terms of new sponsorship, etc., we got a new sponsorship deal for 210k. One deal worth that much is very welcome. 929k in terms of sponsorship. Broadcast revenues was up, competition prize money was up, corporate was up, and matchday commercial and rental was up. So going into the new season, our ticket price has gone up by £2. It's now gone up to £13 for average ticket price. Average season ticket has gone from 80 to 91, which means the projected earnings has gone from 72,000 to 184,000, which is a 101% rise, which we will take and we do need desperately. Now, the youth intake comes before the new season in Norway, which is always interesting and annoying to squeeze into a video, because you don't have just a youth intake video anymore unless we have that individual and recap the youth teams going into a new season, but not sure on that. So let's go through them, shall we? Ulrik Kristoffersen, he's okay. Communication needs to improve, but that will improve as he gets older. He's not bad, you know. I do see why he's a 2.5 up to 3.5 star potential. So the next one is Jakob Løvgren. He is Norwegian plus Swedish. You can see by the 2 dots above the O. That is Norwegian text. Sorry, that is Swedish text, not Norwegian text. He looks decent. He does look like he will develop into a very good centre mid. The next one is Semin Nordvold Lunde, and he's 15-year-old, and again does look really good, and I do think he could develop into a good player. He is only 5'2", which is... it's a bit of an issue. It's like having a mini Messi in our team, just not as good. The next player is this left winger. Doesn't look bad, doesn't look a world beater. Maybe he could develop into just a decent winger. Nothing else in terms of he's not going to be able to cut inside, he's finishing, long shots, etc. is poor, he can't defend. But as a basic winger, maybe he could develop into something. But apart from that, everybody else is fairly poor, to be honest with you. So I don't think we're going to spend time looking through them. Now, the Wonderkids list, I'm going to shock you. None of our players are in it. I know. After the first season, I thought we would have had some, but no. So Evan Ferguson is the best ranked Wonderkid in the world. So he is there. There is a Norwegian, Nipan, who I did recommend in a Wonderkid video last week. Make sure you do go and check that out. He is a player I recommend, and he is in the top 10 Wonderkids recommended. Now, if we do go through, let's have a look. Can we find another Norwegian? There is a Swedish person. Did I just see? Yeah, there's a Swedish person there. Ronnie. Let's go through. Turkish, Moroccan. There's a Norwegian. Nusa, another player who came in my Wonderkid list. I know what I'm talking about. Swedish player there. And then we're going to the final list. Is there any more Norwegians? There is not. But there was 2 Norwegians in the top 50 Wonderkids in world football going into season 2. I mean, I guess the dream is to have even more. So a quick look at pre-season. It was a comfortable pre-season. A couple of draws against Viking 2 and Malmö, but Malmö definitely is a draw where you can accept. I made a Lucky Ball Cup. Now, any local people watching this, Egerton youth teams, etc., have a cup called the Lucky Ball Cup. Lucky Ball is a company who does 10-pin bowling, and they sponsor the Lucky Ball Cup for all the youth teams to participate in. So I created for the adult team. We welcomed Ålgård, Sokndal and Eiger, our local rivals, to that, and we won the cup. And we've had a successful pre-season, so really pleased. We had a lot of games, gave us a chance to work on fitness, gave us a chance to work on tactical ideas, gave the players who were new a chance to get used to our tactic before we go into a new league. So let's have a look at our transfers. So a few of them are registered for last season, which is always annoying, I'm telling you. But let's go through them, shall we? Sander Martinusson comes in on a free transfer, £475 a week on a 2-year deal. He's a very solid defensive midfielder. Really pleased with him. He can drop into centre-back as well if we need him. Comes from Arndal, and honestly, I'm really pleased with that signing. I think he could be a top player for us. The next player who comes in is Christopher Schelstenberg. Now, he comes in to play in our youth team. He's going to play for under-19s. Very talented central mid. £180 a week. I decided it was worth a punt. 3-year deal. Now, if he develops playing in our youth team, he's going to be fantastic. If he doesn't, he's going to be good enough for our youth team and our B team, and then we can let him go on. My hope is our B team plays one division below the viewable league, and I just hope we can get promoted. Maybe if they have good depth in there, it just kind of tells the game, promote that team. So the next player we brought in, a lot of down arrows. I'm honestly sick of seeing them when I come to record a video. He's 32 years old, very experienced player I brought in, but he can play on both wings, attacking mid, centre mid and striker. That's why I brought him in. £525 a week, a 1-year contract. He won't stay longer. But going up to a new division, I think it was smart to bring in just a bit of experience in a position, well, in multiple positions where we just need that depth. Next player to come in is Carl Omdahl, and yeah, another centre midfielder, another player who can play centre mid and defensive mid. I've set him that he is available to play for our B team. He's not a first choice for us, but he's a very solid player, and only on £200 a week. I think it was worth a punt. We are well below our wage budget, and I've tried to sign players who potentially, if we did struggle at this level and go down, all of these players we can afford to keep hold of. So I think it's a good bit of business again. Another player coming from the same squad in Skilled is a striker stroke attacking mid stroke right back. Now in pre-season he's played right back every single game, and he started 5 due to Fanny picking up some injuries and came off bench 3 times and scored 3 goals. Now technically he's not amazing in any area, but he's decent and acceptable in all of them areas. So I'm really pleased to have him at the club. I think he's a decent player. Absolutely chuffed with that. So we'll see how he does. But as you can see, in terms of right back, it says he's the 4th best. I disagree on that. He's decent, and he's shown in pre-season 7.15 average. He's done a good job for us. So good free transfer. Only £250 a week on a 1-year deal as well. So if he doesn't perform, we can let him go. And final one on this side of the page is the player I spoke about in the last video from Lokomotiv Oslo. He started his career start, moved to Oslo, so he's kind of come back the same distance away, because down to where he comes from is about 2.5-3 hours from here, and then up to Oslo it's about the same again, maybe a little bit more. So he's kind of gone past his hometown again, the same distance in the other direction. But I think it's a good signing. He's only 21. He's very versatile, breakthrough prospect. Nobody who's come in has demanded first team football, which is great, because it means I can rotate and find my best 11. But I like him. He's an all-round player again, can play centre mid, attacker mid and striker. And again, we've signed players who are not that old, and what that means is we're in a position where in the next window, we don't need to sign anyone. The window after that, we maybe don't need to sign anyone again. Hold on to who we've got and just watch them develop year after year. And I think that's a great position. So the next player, I think this is a steal. Picked up on a free transfer from Sanes Ulf. With the agreement, we will give them a percentage of the next sale. On £300 a week, a 2-year deal, 20 years old striker. From the local area, from Sanes, and he's decent. I think he's decent. I don't understand why, when I come to record, I have down arrows. I guarantee you now, when I continue and play on, them arrows will disappear. It's a curse of recording. Now, the next two signings. 2 loan deals, and they are the only 2 players who left the club last season in terms of sales. The first one, Bergerson, comes back to Egerson. So he went on to, we sold him to Brann. He played a few games for them. We've now got him back on loan for the season. We're paying his wage, but it's only £500 a week. Play both flanks, play striker. Really good bit of business. And then Marlon comes back after 39 games for us in the last 2 years. Sold to Brann on a free transfer at the end of last season. He's come straight back on loan now. Again, we're paying all of his wage, but again, we can afford it. And he is a very good defender. And the fact that him and Midskogen played together last year means we're not relying on the kids going into this season. We can keep Jurgensen as a rotation option this year, age still only 17, and over time promote him up as a first choice. So the next player we brought in as well is another player from last season. Scherstein, our goalkeeper, is back. Now, I tried to get him on loan. We couldn't do it. Lillestrøm said no, they didn't want to loan him back to us. Then a month later, he got released from his contract at Lillestrøm. So we jumped straight in there. He's our highest earner at £1,000 a week. But he was just solid as a rock. Now, we did renew the contract to Clemenson, who had a broken leg for the whole of last season. So he is now our backup keeper. But apart from aerial reach, in every aspect, Scherstein was better. So I just thought it was a good deal to bring him back in. He was our number 1 last season. He's our number 1 this year. Now, Philippe Opre comes in as a backup left back. If you remember, Madsen, our left back, wanted to leave due to being homesick from Denmark. He's still not gone. Nobody wants to buy him. He's only got a year left on his contract. He obviously won't renew it. So Philippe Opre comes in, 18 years old. Let's give him a year as a backup. The next season he can move in as our first choice left back. I have no worry about that. I have sorted a face pack for him as well as a couple of the others. I've not had time to get them into the game yet. I will get that fixed. And our final signing comes in from Bærum. And honestly, I think this is a good bit of business. He was on loan at Asker last year. He's only 19 years old now, turned 19 at the start of the year, so he's not even turned 20 till next season. He can play all the way across that attack midfielder line. And again, he's an all-round, very talented player. And them additions, I think, just add so much depth to our squad. Over half our squad is 21 or under. We only have 1 player over 30. we only have 3 players over the age of 27. I'm really pleased with our squad. I think it's young. I think there's always a risk when they are that young. But I'm genuinely very, very pleased with it. Now, in terms of staff, we've added quite a bit of staff to the squad as well. So if we put in team-wise, under 19s first off, our new manager who was here last year is still stuck around. Chris Slaveland's still a coach, but we've also added Jonas Erling Groven comes in as an under 19 coach as well. He's not the best, but he's a coach, and I want to just add a bit more depth coaching our youth team to hopefully help them continue to improve. We have now added a second team manager. Again, he's not a world beater in terms of managerial attributes, but he's okay, and he's only 27 years old. And in my opinion, in Football Manager, if we can give him coaching courses over time and improve him, by the age of 35-40, he's going to be a really solid manager, especially when you look at his mental attributes. His mental should help the knowledge and coaching improve dramatically. And we also added a fitness coach to the B team, because they also help coach the A team, and we were short of quality. So the fact we could bring him in, I think, was a really good bit of business, to be honest with you. We've still got our loan manager, our technical director, them two are leaving at the end of the season, thank God. Recruitment analysis as well, performance analysis, I think we're going to let go as well. So we're going to save a couple of thousand a week when they finally get out of the club. But in terms of other people who we've changed, John Pedersen, whose contract was run out, he was down as just a coach in season 1, and I did point out that in real life he is the head of youth development at Egerton. Well, I convinced him to sign a new contract as a head of youth development and as a coach. So it helps me, adds more depth in our coaching, but it also gets him in his actual position, and I kind of hope we can keep him long term as the head of youth development, just because it's realistic, as that is his job in real life. And we did add a couple of coaches in as well, so let's go through our coaching staff for the first team. Stian Brasteth is one of the coaches we have. We also have that Groven, who they're the under 19. Let's go through, who else did we go? We've got our set piece coach, but he was here last year. Very poor, so he will be let go at the end of this season. We've got the goalkeeper coach I kept on because he used to play for Egerton, etc. He's maybe not a world beater, but he's good enough, and it's that connection to the club I want to keep going. So when you look at our record compared to other people in the division, we're not the best coaches, we don't have the best team, we probably have the smallest coaching team in the division as well. We are definitely going to be battling against it in the Obest League, and I think I've not checked the season preview yet, but so we are expected to come 14th. We are 50-1, so we have, I think we probably cut ourselves down in terms of we've improved a bit. And Barham, is semi-professional. Skilled are professional. Ruffus, they are semi-professional. Mjorndal's semi-professional. Arndal is semi. Breen is professional. Ranheim's semi-professional. I'm guessing they're semi-professional. Okay, for UM Oslo. Okay, I think the fact that half the division is semi-professional should give us the ability to beat some of them later in the season when tired legs start to kick in. There's a few more games than last season. I'm nervous. I'm excited. We've got a young squad. I'm excited to see how we're going to play. We've got a young squad. I'm excited to see how we're going to develop. And we've got a young squad, so I'm excited to see how we battle it out in some of the tough away games. Haugesund away, Ålesund away. We were playing their B team last year. Sogndal away as well. Tough teams. Start play in a huge 14,500 capacity stadium. These are games which will get players' nerves tingling. Now, financially, we are already in the red. 265k in the red now, and we're just leaking money. So, players' wages, 66,000 we lost last month on players' wages. Staff wages are 48. We've had to add depth in terms of B team manager. We had to add depth in terms of some coaches in the under-19s. we need to get rid of all these positions which we don't need, low manager, technical director, etc. So they will go over time and that will come down. I'm doing the best we can financially. We are spending 14,800 a week. It's only gone up by about 4,000 from last season. And we have a budget of 31. We can't even get close to that. Projection-wise, we're going to be in $1 million in the red by the end of the season. I said it last year. I'm going to say it again. We need a cup run. We need a cup run. Now, one thing I like here is when we look at our squad depth, we are looking very, very solid. We've got 3 goalkeepers, 4 left back, 4 people who can play left back, 6 defenders, 4 people who can play right back, 6 defensive mid, 11 central mids, 10 left wingers, right wingers is 7, and 7 people who can play striker if needed. We have a lot of depth this season in the players I've registered. I've brought in, say, 25 players we've got in our first team squad now, and many of them are multiple position players, and that was key to my transfer strategy. My transfer strategy of players who can play left wing, right wing and striker. Players who can play central mid, defensive mid and central defence. Players who can play left back, left wing, left back, left wing, right back, right wing, etc. It was important. I think it was a good plan to do, and I'm happy with doing it. Now, if we look at goalkeeper-wise, then we're not bad. We are not bad. Agility-wise, we're quite poor compared to the rest, but the rest, we're decent. Defence-wise, we are below average in tackling, heading, but we are ahead in jumping and marking. We look poor in positioning, strength, pace, and we are the worst in acceleration. So we're struggling there. Midfield wise, we're above average in vision. We are below average in everything else. Decisions wise, we're the worst at 9.54 average. So midfield wise, we're not the best. Attack wise as well, we're struggling. So we're a below average team, no question about it. Physically then, we are struggling there as well. Pace-wise, we're well below a lot of people. The best is 12.39 average for Hawkerson. We have we have 10.62. Mental-wise, this is where we do all right in some of them. Aggression, we are mentally crazy when it comes to aggression. When it comes to determination, when it comes to flair, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to work rate, this points back to when I am looking at players. I try so hard to never get someone who has work rate under 10, teamwork under 10, determination under 10. Very rarely I'll bring in players who have that, and that's starting to show there now. We're starting to do well mentally. Technically, we're not the worst, but we're below average. So the reports do show it's going to be a tough season. They really do. And that is where this tactic which we used last year, is it going to be good enough this year? I'm not sure. Now, a couple of things when we looked at our starting 11. Midskogen at the end of the year decided he would stick around after we won promotion, so he has been secured on a new deal. And also Volas, he has also agreed to stick around after we had secured promotion. So there were 2 players who I did say I desperately wanted to hold on to. Now, one of the positives is when we look at our starting squad, 90% was here last season. Fanny's going to actually come back in after missing the last pre-season game. But we're pretty much ready to go for the opening game of the season. Sherstein in goal, Fanny right back, Midskogen, Maryland and Madsen. I think I'm going to bring back in Strangland in defensive mid. Knapskog, Slaveland, Larson, Volas and Una up top. That is because John Barisha, who still is looking very nice, has unfortunately picked up an injury. But that means Una is the only player starting who wasn't at this club last season. I'm nervous. We're away from home, but we are away from home against a team who was expected to come bottom. Now, what I would say is in the next video, I think we might be discussing a second tactic I'll have put together to try to defend against the bigger teams. But for now, let's go out there and try to push this team back and try to get a result on the opening day. So they've had a corner to come all the way back out, and they do get a chance to put it back in, but we do collect it. The first highlight of the game that was, I was sipping a coffee, so I couldn't do the commentary on the actual corner. So Sherstein throws down, Midskogen now, goes back to Sherstein, go out to Merlin, we do. Then Madsen's there. The team knows each other. They've played together. Larson obviously playing on the left wing this season, like we discussed. I wanted to train him out there so Knapskog could become a natural central midfielder starter. Knapskog's in as we talk about him, and it's a save by the goalkeeper. But that was some nice build-up, some patient play. The corner's going to be a short one. Larson with the corner. To Orner, our striker, is the man short. Larson puts it in. Midskogen wins the header. Volas heads it down. De Silva with the save. We get another corner. I am just going to encourage. Right, corner. This one's going to be whipped straight in by Madsen here. So Madsen with the corner. Drilled it in, by the way. Oh my days, I was with some power. Forget about floating it in. He just aimed at the player and hit as hard as he could. Right, Knapskog goes back to Midskogen. Inside to Strangeland, to Knapskog. We lose it, but Fanny wins it back. Volas now. Fanny's on the overlap. Inside to Knapskog. Knapskog strikes. Christian Knapskog makes it 1-0. Our youngster, who is going to be starting in central midfield this season, puts us 1-0 up in our first game in the Oberliga ever. Our first ever game at this level, and we are 1-0 up. We are going to switch that to the league table because we are in the top half. Oh, as we almost go 2-0 as I'm still talking and still rabbiting away. Larson now down the left-hand side, goes inside to Slaveland. Ball over the top to Madsen. He's made the overlap, puts it to the back post of Volas. He doesn't get it. If we remember last season, Volas scored a few goals with his head, but they've got him behind. Just a long ball. That was a long ball from our attack. We can't be conceding goals like that if we want to do well this year. We just can't. A long ball from them. After we were on the attack, they always say you are at your most vulnerable when you are attacking. Early in the second half, and they now have a chance. They cut inside. They go across to the left-hand side, forward to the left winger, goes back to defence, but we intercept it. Orner now driving forward. Play the ball. No, he's still going. Now he plays it across. Chris Slaveland, the captain, on the opening day in the Oberliga, makes it 2-1. And what a run from our young striker, signed from San Ulf in the summer. And he takes the ball all the way to the box before calmly putting it across for Chris Slaveland to drill it in the top left corner to make us take a 2-1 lead here. Right, come on, don't let them get straight back into this. Ball down the left-hand side, they bring it down, they put it in, back post, they're going to get the head, it does go over. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, I'm going to praise us because we've got an early goal there. Madsen with the free kick, tries to beat the keeper at the keeper's side. He knocks it out, we get a corner from it. Right, Madsen with the out-swinging corner. We must have someone who can do the in-swinger, which I do ask for. Back post, though, to come back. Slaveland with the header. What a bullet that was, by the way. What a bullet header. But both of our central midfielders have goals in this game. Both of them. We're coming up on the hour, and Strangeland does have a yellow, so we're going to bring on Marthason, who we've picked up in the summer, and Fanny on a yellow card as well. We are going to bring on Stainsrud, who has just been insanely good bombing forward. Probably because it says he's naturally a striker, but playing him a right back, he's just bombed forward in pre-season. So we can see if he can create something again in this game here, but wow, he has been good. A goal kick from them. We do win it. Volas now to Orner. Is he going to drive forward again? He plays it out wide to Volas, to Stainsrud. He's now bombing forward, showing us what he can do. Whips it across, back post. Larson with the header. An assist from our right back who we brought on. Larson, who was central midfield last season, I've moved him out to the left wing this season, and he gets a goal on the opening day as we go 3-1 up, and we will switch to our 4-5-1 defensive tactic now. We will waste time. We will just burn this game down. We're going to make a couple of changes then. Seth is going to come on for the Captain Slaveland. Get some game time for him. Bergeson's going to come on for Larson on the left wing. Fresh legs, and if anything, a better player in that position. Then I think we will make our final change with about 3 minutes to go, just again to run down that clock a little bit. So keeping an eye on the time there. 88th minute. So I think what we'll do, Knapskog has an injury, so that's made our mind up. And I think we'll bring on the experienced 32-year-old Stefansson to come on into central mid and just help us see the game out. Just going to do a shout of focus. I don't want us to concede and put any pressure on us for the last couple of minutes. And that is it. 24 shots to 3. 71% possession as well in our first game in this division. Absolutely fantastic result. Knapskog's are 1 to 2 days, a tight groin. We can accept that. I will do the press conference, etc. after. But the league has kicked off. End it now. Just end it now. We will take third place and we'll pack our bags. Thank you very much. Season over. I've been Paul, also known as the Northman. I'll see you in the next episode as we continue the season. We try to make some money because we are shipping that money at the minute.